Coming up on Look Today, well, the candidates for the 21st Congressional District express their views as we near Election Day. I've got details. And we have part 3 of our coverage of the 2016 Fall TechSmart Expo in Malta. More on that coming up. And the 2016 Annual Conference and Trade Show is taking place at the Saratoga City Center. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone and happy Friday. I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with incumbent U.S. Representative Elise Stefanik of the 21st Congressional District. And she's here to talk about her ideas and her bipartisan work in the House of Representatives in part 2 of this exclusive interview. I also sit down with Amy Hughes. She's a program coordinator for the Saratoga County Veterans Peer Connection. She's here to talk about the importance of connecting people and helping veterans in need. Great interview. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, Election Day is coming up on November 8th, not a moment too soon. And the candidates for the 21st Congressional District have expressed their views and concerns on a number of different topics. Now, one of the bigger issues is that of veterans and how we can provide better care for them. Incumbent Representative Elise Stefanik has shown her support for veterans and continues to fight for their rights.
I also believe that we need to reform the VA to make sure we have the highest quality, highest accessibility of care when it comes to ensuring that our veterans get the quality of health care they need. We've tackled the PTSD crisis that many of our veterans are facing with the passage of the Clay Hunt Suicide Prevention Act.
Now, Mike Derrick, he's the candidate running on the Democratic ticket, is a military veteran and therefore relates to many of the issues that challenge our veterans.
There's only one candidate on this stage who is a veteran. There is only one candidate on this stage who has spent his life in public service, in uniform. And so when it comes to these issues that have to do with vets and have to do with the Army and have to do with military families, those are my people. That is my family.
Now, Green Party candidate Matt Funicello believes that the best way to support our veterans is not to send our children away to what he calls illegal wars.
I have another great idea as to how to make the world a better place for our veterans. Stop sending them to illegal wars that are unconstitutional, using authorizations to use military force.
We've got 3 very passionate candidates there. All right, now the footage you saw was from the 21st Congressional debate that we taped at SUNY Adirondack. And if you'd like to see the full program, we're going to air it tonight, and we will air it a few more times before Election Day. You want to catch that. Well, in other news, we've got part 3 of our coverage of the Fall 2016 TechSmart Expo. Now, we spoke to many students about their innovative ideas concerning clean energy and making our economy eco-friendly. Well, we spoke to Joe Dragoni. He's the superintendent of the Ballston Spa School District.
You know, when you talk to the kids, that's really where you get the best information, and they can speak so eloquently about the work that they're doing and how they're really engaged in the learning, and that's not something you see every day in every classroom in every school. So I really think that when really where the rubber meets the road is the type of learning that's going on here and how the kids really apply what they're learning to solve real world problems. And when you speak to the kids, that really comes across in what they've learned and how they're presenting it.
Now, when we were at the expo, Assemblywoman Kerry Werner was also there. Now, she's one of our local leaders in promoting technological advances, and we caught up with her.
I have been coming to these events for like the last 5 years, and some of these kids I've seen from starting when they're freshmen, and the quality and sophistication of their thought process is so phenomenal that when you ask them to tell you about the problems that they've identified and the solutions that they are proposing, you really get a sense of some real rigor in their thinking, some creativity, out-of-the-box approaches that I think is just a great beacon for what our future looks like. And I'm so excited for these kids because I think they've got such a tremendous future in front of them. And for us, because our world is going to be so much better off for the work that they'll be able to do.
She and I share the same excitement about this. By the way, just a quick sidebar. CEFCU, the credit union, makes it possible for us to cover TechSmart and also the program that we produce that the kids make called Tech Talks. Switching from news to weather. Well, North Country Weather is currently away at a conference. I told you that yesterday. Then it won't be back until Monday, which means that we will not be going to the Glens Falls Weather Center for your forecast, but instead, we're going to give it to you right here when we come back. Back to the news. Well, the 2016 Annual Conference and Trade Show is taking place at the Saratoga City Center. It'll run till tomorrow. Now, the New York Library Association is hosting this event. Librarians and company specialists from across the country gather at this annual event to promote networking and new technologies. Well, we spoke to Kelsey Dorado. She's a communications and marketing manager for the New York Library Association.
We bring libraries and librarians from all over the state. We give them continuing education programs, other things that we think would be beneficial. And then during our trade show, we try and collect vendors that are the most innovative in the library world. So we have everything from architects to library furniture. We have some people who do learning stuff, so they'll do languages and all kinds of stuff like that.
All right, up next, I sit down with incumbent U.S. Representative Elise Stefanik from the 21st Congressional District. She's here to talk about her ideas and her bipartisan work in the House of Representatives in part 2 of our exclusive interview. Plus, I also sit down with Amy Hughes. She's a program coordinator for an organization called the Saratoga County Veterans Peer Connection. And she's here to talk about the importance of connecting people and helping veterans in need. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea. How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. It's Friday, so I want to thank the crew. I want to thank Jesselyn and Drew and Andrew, Jack and Joel and Norm for making this program possible each week. I've got a couple of lookouts. I got a email from Jonathan Newell, a mutual friend of ours and local musician Alan Dunham suffered a really severe heart attack. He's part of that duo Dunham and Wing. They performed on our music show Tracks. And tonight at the Hudson River Music Hall, there's a benefit to try to raise money to help him with the expenses. I think it starts at like 7:30. And on Sunday, I want to remind you at 3 p.m. in Saratoga at Filene Recital Hall, the Saratoga Chamber Players are doing their first season concert. And you don't want to miss that. That's really worth going to see. I think that's it. Over the weekend, we'll be doing a lot of programming featuring candidates who are running for election. And since the election is this Tuesday, I think you'll find the programming very informative. And tonight on Look TV, we are presenting the 21st District Congressional Debate. And don't forget, you can tune in Monday night for the stories that matter to you. Have a safe weekend, everyone, and good night.